I had this kid try to crash my Vibe skateboarding the other day. I was going around that little circle and he kept running in front of me. Thought it was funny. I kept bailing out and falling.
So you beat him up?
Nah, he was too little. But I thought about it. I was like, damn, kid, you're going to learn one of these days. Boom!
So you pushed him on the ground.
So I picked him up by his ankles and I shook all the change out of his pockets. And I went home, a richer man by 37 cents.
Yeah. Said, tell your mother.
I'll shake her ankles too. Take the $1.50 that fall out of her breast meat.
Then she'll find you and destroy your life for 4 to 5 years. Because women are scary.
Made a total of $1.67.
Mm-hmm.
More Americans are living in malls as developers get creative to ease the housing crisis. Hey, you can't afford a house? You can't afford a regular apartment? How about you stay in this former Maurice's? Do you really like Sam's hat stores?
You want to live above a Mrs. Fields cookies?
How about in the back of house at an Auntie Anne's? We could put a cot back there. Fit 47 Filipinos.
Yeah. We got one more unit available. It's underneath GameStop.
We can't sell this one next to Rajesh Indian food.
For some reason. Yeah. People say it smells like plumbing.
Yeah. More people are living at American malls as real estate developers knock down department stores and construct apartment buildings in their place. Could you imagine meeting a coworker and he's like, hey, dude, you trying to come over? We could smoke and hang out or something. And he gives you his address and it's the Aurora Mall.
Could you imagine meeting your coworker? And he's like, I can't even afford to live in this mall. And he works at the mall. That's hard times.
Oh,
you got that place above Cinnabon? That's a good lot.
No, that apartment sells
$2,100 a month where you work.
You got her shit in a bucket, but it's Cinnabon smell.
Better than Roger's place.
Better than a hot dog on a stick. Your whole apartment smelled like hot dog water.
I woke up covered in fryer oil. I don't know how it happened. The insurance like, we don't cover that. No.
The employees keep coming back here telling me to take out the trash.
That's scary too. Niggas just shopping at the mall.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they're in your apartment suddenly. They're like, I thought this was a Macy's.
Oh, dude. Tren de Araguas, that Venezuelan gang in Aurora,
Oh
they're taking over the mall if they offer that.
Oh,
By
yeah.
all the units, they got this wing locked down.
That's terrifying. There's going to be a lot of break-ins.
Oh.
Especially with how shops look nowadays. I'm saying with like just casually having your apartment. They're like a suburban lady with a candle obsession or something.
Oh.
Or like plant topiary or whatever in a house. People walk in there think it's just a cafe. They just sit down. They don't leave.
Oh, that'd be scary.
She's not going to know what to do.
What about when somebody sets the whole mall on fire on accident with like a grease fire in their house?
Keep reading. They thought about that.
Okay. Some U.S. developers are knocking down department stores like Macy's or JCPenney because nobody goes there.
No. Who needs clothes?
Amazon.
Yeah.
Get on Amazon. Quit going to real stores.
This is what I was saying. Clothes, Best Buy. You don't need any of them anymore.
No. You could just go to the tailor and have him measure and give you all your measurements. Then go buy clothes that way. Don't even buy the tailor's suits.
Yeah.
Just have him measure you.
Yeah. You can tell them to upload your measurements to Amazon and they just send you clothes. You don't have to order it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, that's actually a good tertiary business idea right there. I bet you could make that happen.
My size.
Yeah, dude, Amazon would just start a monthly thing. Give me $20 a month. I'll ship you new clothes.
Yeah.
Using spaces and their parking lots to put up apartment buildings. I live in a parking lot. Apartment 310.
Where's your house at? Space 16.
You think they build them above the spaces so you get a garage?
I think you just get the space and a tent. They're like no hot appliances.
This is happening in LA.
Yeah.
Oh no, dude, this is happening in Colorado. And this guy says, this mall is becoming cool again. Vice President of Macerich, which is currently developing Flatiron Crossing Mall in Broomfield, Colorado.
Beautiful.
That's where we were thinking about getting an apartment.
Ew.
Could have got a mall apartment.
No, why aren't we living above Panda Express?
Oh!
No.
Oh, being able to live by it, work by it, play by it, go to restaurants by it. We're definitely seeing this as a trend because Americans are gay and want to be European now.
America's so downtrodden. I saw like a 1-minute version clip of this news segment, and they asked some lady who was living in the apartment. It looked weird. It looked like mini Manhattan inside. Like it has like this townhome sort of aesthetic inside. Yeah, with like the mall railways and all that shit. And she's like, it's actually wonderful. I'm like, she lived in a box.
Remember that college girl in that 5-minute city?
Yeah.
It's so great. People are in her living room.
They all have this downtrodden look in their eye. With it just like, I've lived in Skid Row for 2 years. Like they're like twitching. They're like, I could plug in a lamp. I could have done that for 6 years. I'm 42 years old. You're like, oh my God.
I have a bed now.
Yeah.
So things are looking up.
It smells like food around me. It's wonderful.
This new version of the American Mall comes as shopping centers across the country fight for survival. Amazon. And look to transformation to avoid extinction. Hey, you know what might get people to shop here?
Yeah.
If they live here.
Yeah. If they can't leave.
I vote we put up an elementary, middle, and high school in here, too. Make it its own insular city.
It's funny. I hope, like, suburban neighborhoods start doing the opposite. Like, you go in an HOA, there's just a Walmart for that HOA.
Oh, yeah,
In that HOA.
Yeah.
They start making their community a mall.
Are you a member of this HOA?
You can't shop
You
at
can't
this
shop here.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's your member badge?
Disgusting. Get out. The greeters just spit at you. Classy.
Yeah. 5-star Walmart. The Ritz Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Golden strawberries on a plate.
They sell completely different things at that Walmart.
We walk in there, they're like, why do you smell like EBT cards?
Yo. Wow.
Wonderful.
There's just too much retail in the U.S.
I like this story. Think of children in the future when they see old movies and stuff, and you see people in the mall buying stuff, and they're like, you used to just come here and buy things? They're like, yeah, that was when we were a rich country.
Yeah.
Now we all live here.
Yeah. Now go downstairs and get me my Cinnabon. You hear me?
Go to school. He goes to Cinnabon. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. I thought that story was sad and hilarious.
It is sad. I mean, the whole housing thing here is a little rough. I don't think that it's something that is insurmountable. Like, one can, with saving and diligent work,
You're right.
get a house. However, you also have to be in a fortunate enough situation to make like $100,000 a year.
Exactly. That's why that news story makes sense. This one plus the combined one I told you earlier this week, the average medium home buyer.
Oh.
In 2024 or whatever, median rather, 56 years old.
Oh, yeah.
56 years old, they're like, I could afford a down payment. That's absurd.
Just in time for retirement, I have a home.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that ties into this, what is it? Here it is. The minimum salary that people believe would feel financially successful. So the minimum salary to feel financially successful in the U.S. by generation. And they have this graphic here. And the graphic is not hopeful. boomers born 1946 to 1964, they needed $100K a year to feel financially successful, and to feel comfortable to retire, $1 million. Becoming a millionaire as a boomer was like, you made it.
Yeah, they started burning bridges. They said, I'm at $900,000. I don't need this job.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Their children had it much harder. The Gen Xers, which are my parents, your parents' age range, born 65 to 1980, needed to make $212,000 a year to feel successful or stable, and they needed to have $5.3 million for retirement.
That's still not bad. You know, they go on, I don't know, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, and they're like, I need this to afford the ability to rollerblade for the next 30 years. Yeah. You know? They were just rollerblading, doing coke, rollerblading, doing coke, you know?
Listening to Guns N' Roses, getting tattoos for the first time.
It wasn't that pricey to do that back then.
Millennials, actually, things got a little cheaper. Millennials felt like they only needed to make $181,000 a year.
That's because they all wanted to be homeless. They all wanted to live in Brooklyn on the street.
Yeah. And then they needed to make $5.6 million total and have stored away for retirement to feel stable. Now, here's where it gets crazy. I think we have the wrong feeling. But Gen Z are feeling 1997 to 2012, which age range. Minimum salary, $588,000 a year.
I think it's accurate. I think it's so accurate. I told you this before. I need to make $500,000 to feel like I can afford all the subscriptions that are around. HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Netflix, Hulu. I need a lot of money.
Yeah. $588,000 a year barely gets you there.
Apple keeps telling me my storage is up. They want to charge me money. You know, there's a bill everywhere.
And then Gen Zers' minimum net worth to retire, $9.5 million.
I think they're underestimating it.
Woo!
I think we all need to become Elon to retire. No,
and Elon ain't even retiring, so that's bad looks.
The moment we'll be able to start thinking about, we can afford a down payment for a home, now we have to plan for our funeral. You know, that's going to be $2 million because of inflation.
Yeah.
Plywood's going to be $7,000, 2x4.
Hyperinflation. Bread's going to be $400.
Bread! No one's heard of that in 50 years. We don't have it anymore.
Eat your paste.
Yeah, we're eating space food.
Yeah.
That freeze-dried space food. Yeah.
And then the actual average is making $64,000 a year and having a net worth of $1.1 million. So actually, like, we're slightly above boomers on average. I think in all reality, the millennials are probably correct. Like, they have a much more realistic expectation of what's necessary than we do. I think at $181,000 a year, you and your family and stuff are probably doing pretty okay.
I mean, realistically, maybe as long as you have realistic expectations, but I have realistic expectations. I don't underestimate how crazy things can get, too. Remember when we were talking about Chester's fries the other day? $2 for a bag back in the day. Now it's $2.99 all of a sudden. Dollar markup. You might as well do 1,000. They might do that one day. You might wake up and eggs are $50. Then what do you do?
If everything else followed that inflation, everything would be 50% more expensive. That'd be crazy.
This is what I'm saying. You never know.
No, you never do.
The fucking masks. I remember masks during COVID. $20 for a pack of like 6 masks, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
Remember how expensive hand sanitizer got? I'm traumatized by that time. Truly, I think you need $100 million to be able to get a bowl of porridge in 50 years.
Wood got expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to have real money for everything. That is true. When things get real dire,
shit hits the fan, you need a lot of money.
You either need a lot of money or a lot of guns and bullets.
Which requires money.
Initially. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Still. Bullets are fucking expensive.
Yeah. 22, not.
Well, they're still kind of pricey.
Bryce Thompson.
Yeah. Dear Lord, baby Jesus. Rest his soul, although if you judged him to be a bad man, don't rest it, you know?
Look at his soul and see how many screaming faces there are inside of it, and then you can judge it. You know.
Okay.
I want to live in a shopping mall.
We should. All right. So, most recent homicide that is popping. Daniel Penny. Okay, Daniel Penny was a former Marine, or is a former Marine. He's not dead. He's a former Marine.
That's a good Marine.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Successful. High KDR. In fact, currently dividing by 0. Theoretically infinite KDR. Kill to death ratio. Yeah. Anyway, he's added something to his kill to death ratio. Another body from the Marine Corps. This one was outside of the Corps in a New York City subway. He was chilling in the subway with all the other good people, more or less, of New York. And this homeless guy came in. Homeless guy started getting on some rah-rah stuff, telling everybody in there he was going to kill him and he was going to mess him up. And just so everybody knows, the line legally for being able to defend yourself with lethal force, i.e. kill somebody, in defense of yourself or that other person, is if there is danger of life or limb. Limb includes rape. Limb includes...
That's not funny. I just never thought of my vagina as a limb. That's real weird. Continue.
Limb includes all organ damage, which means serious skin damage is an organ.
About like a finger.
I mean, I think if somebody's going to cut off your finger, one could make the argument that you could reasonably believe they would also kill you. I mean, you're starting off with a finger. You really don't care.
I like this.
Yeah. So, this guy's running around, the homeless guy running around, telling everybody he gonna kill him. And old Daniel Perry decided it was his time to shine. He went over there, put my mans in a chokehold, apparently held the choke for 6 minutes.
That's pretty good.
It's a long time. And then the police got on the train and that guy was dead. And
yeah. They held him as long as it takes to make 3 Hot Pockets. That's a long time. What?
Ate one of them already.
If he could survive, he was the Messiah.
Yeah.
What?
And so a judge, last time I read this, they were charging him with 2nd-degree manslaughter and negligent homicide. The 2nd-degree manslaughter apparently was dismissed by the judge. So now it is up to the jurors to determine if it was a negligent homicide or not. Now, negligent homicide simply means that a reasonable person, as defined by the jury, would have done a similar thing. If a reasonable person would have acted similarly in your situation, it is not negligent, it is reasonable. If they determine a reasonable person would not have done what you did, it is negligent and therefore a negligent homicide.
What's reasonable?
That's truly for the jury to determine. The question in our legal system a lot of the time is, do you think that's reasonable? If you were choking a guy because he had been threatening everybody, imagine all the exact same information. Maybe you find a knife. Maybe your heart rate's out of control. This is an extreme situation. Do you think you would have held that choke for 6 minutes?
Me personally, no, because I'm lazy. But if I could have, I would have. At that time, I'm going to want a cigarette. Maybe I have an itch. You really don't know. He was really committed to holding the choke, to protecting the people on that shit subway anyway. You know, that was not his job. He was working overtime. He's retired, isn't he?
Yeah.
Still going around being a hero.
Agreed.
Active duty, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's still active.
Very.
Give that man a badge.
Yeah. Don't they need a new mayor in New York or whatever?
Yeah. The other one a criminal.
Make it this guy. He does not give up. 6 minutes. 3 Hot Pockets.
That's a long time to squeeze.
3 Hot Pockets. You know?
Yeah,
3 Hot Pockets worth of killing somebody.
That's a
long time.
Yeah.
You could even compare that to maybe a Stouffer's lasagna.
Boiling.
Yeah.
I think that it, in my opinion, hinges on if he is trained or not. Trained meaning in like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If this man has trained for more than like 2 or 3 months in Jiu-Jitsu at any point, this is straight up negligent. Because
I don't think so.
Because it doesn't take but, I mean, at most a minute a good squeezing. Really, probably more like 15 seconds a good squeezing for somebody to pass out. And we definitely know that if you hold that for too long, it kills people. 6 minutes. Like
the more I think about it, it's not great for him. The more I think about it, the funnier it is. In 6 minutes, he was just there. And people somewhere like 6 minutes is a long time to do that.
I think he down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Do you need some water?
Yeah. That's a long fucking
6
time.
minutes. I mean, I challenge anybody out there to squeeze. Put something inside this crook of your arm. Set your arms up and squeeze as hard as you can for as long as you can. And before you give up, look at the timer. My bet is most people can't squeeze for above a minute.
Even easier than that. Think of how long we've been talking. That whole time he was squeezing. How long we've been talking about this story is how long he was squeezing that guy. He maybe just let him go. He was like, I think y'all are safe. They're all like, get away from us. People are ungreat.
So, I mean, I think it's kind of hard to argue it wasn't at least a little negligent unless he had zero training. Because if you're just in Marine Corps mode coming back from Iraq,
that's the other thing.
6 minute makes sense.
PTSD, whatever else. Maybe the moment he choked him, he like flashed back to Abu Ghraib or something like that. And he was just gone. You know, he'd seen his friends be blown up by IEDs or what the fuck ever else. And then he woke up, he was like, ugh, even worse, I'm on a subway. And now all this happened. I wish in cases like this, there was like a coin flip law in this country or something. Where it's like, look, we leave this up to the Lord. And then you like bathe the coin and only want to flip it, and that's his fate. You know? Either you get in a quarter or you free as a dog.
The quarter has spoken.
Yeah. Because I would feel bad. I feel bad being on the jury. You know? You don't want him to just walk around like I wouldn't want him walking around with nobody knowing he did this. You know? Like, you'd want to know a guy that choked somebody for 6 fucking minutes. You don't want to just find that out in the PTA meeting or whatever. You're like, yeah, Damien's dad did what? I don't want him around. But you know, it's a lot. You can't just erase that. But at the same time, he's already done so much for this country. Like I said, he's working overtime, active duty still, even though he's, retired how many years? Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. He's seen shit. Leave him be. You know, he was probably just trying to go like get his tux pressed or something. Right. I don't fucking know. And then he was like, great. Now I have to, kill a terrorist again.
Now, I mean, I guess you could also think about it this way. Would he have been well within his rights to pull out and cap that dude? Or to hit that guy with like 3 deep stabs?
Well, the stabs, sure. But the gun thing, you know how complex that conversation gets. He endangered other people and what the fuck ever else. If you're just firing in a fucking subway, that does, that's not great.
Right, but I guess imagine that the same outcome happens. No bystanders are hurt, and he kills the dude. Is that...
I want it to be a knife just so it's not all messy.
Okay, yeah, it could be a knife. But pick a different method of... He has a rock. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. And he smacks the dude 4 times in the head with it to get him to stop. Yeah. Would that have been deemed okay? Probably. If you dismissed a manslaughter charge already for it, and we're down to just negligent homicide, then the mediating factor is the duration that he held the choke, it seems, as opposed to anything else.
My problem with it as well, on top of that, is there's not really enough details for me to feel secure in making a decision of whatever this guy's name is. you know, how guilty he is. Because, like, I wasn't there. What if a homeless guy came in with, like, for some reason, fake C4 strapped to his chest? Like, what did he do
Right.
that incited, you know, such a reaction from this former Marine or whatever? He clearly wasn't drunk on malt 40, like, I'll kill all of you. You know, that's not a threat to anybody. He must have been doing something, acting in a way, maybe he gestured towards someone, grabbed somebody. You don't fucking know. Oh, if he, like, grabbed a little girl or something on the bus, or, like, started walking towards some, or anything like that, I could see, you know, he incited the dragon, and then the dragon held on and took him to the sun.
I think that given what we know about it, we can 100% guaranteed say that if we watched the video, the video would show that this homeless fella was incredibly dangerous seeming. That's at a minimum. I mean. Like, he made people feel imminent danger and fear for their lives and limbs.
For that reaction? Absolutely. He must have been coming in like swinging a katana. I'll kill all you. Yeah, something.
So, yeah, and I guess, sure, the choke is the problem, or is a problem, but if at the end of the day, a guy's dead who it was perfectly reasonable to kill,
right?
Like, should you go to jail for that? Like, just because you choked him?
You know, I think no. But this is the problem with our justice system. Like, if someone found the Boston bombers before they set off the bomb and shot them in the back of the head, like, just a civilian, they'd be like, well, why'd you do it like that? Like, it wouldn't even be they saved the whole marathon. You know, we look at the details, these fine details, and we don't, you know, ever care if garbage was eradicated that day. It's how you eradicated the garbage.
Right. Yeah. Was that a legal eradication? Yeah. And that's tough. I will say, I'm not like a fucking jujitsu master or anything, but I did enough jujitsu and have choked probably 4 people to sleep in my life, such that every single time I can confidently tell you, I knew when they were asleep.
And, they go limp.
And
you watch enough UFC, you see that.
Right. And everybody who's ever choked me to sleep has immediately let go. And because they feel I went limp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's what you get when you're a good person. People let go. That's what this case hinges on. Doesn't matter that he didn't let go. I don't think it does. You know?
That's fair. And I guess the other thing is the guy was probably dead at 3 minutes. So what if he had let go at 3 minutes? Would that change things?
He was dead at 30 seconds from an overdose. And this is just an unfortunate situation for the guy who was holding on to it.
Oh, Daniel Perry.
That's why they won't release that fucking homeless man's records. They'll be like, don't release that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not on trial here.
We don't think that's pertinent information.
I will say, I personally hope he gets off, but I would not scoff at it's a 4-year maximum for a negligent homicide. I wouldn't scoff at that. I would go, that I guess kind of makes sense. It was a long hold.
Like I said, I want him off. I want him free. I just want people to know what he did. We need to, like, mark him.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 6-minute on the neck. So everywhere he go, people need to ask him, wait, what's that about?
Just brand killer across his neck.
No, protector. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just 6 minutes. You have to know. You need to know this story everywhere he goes.
Got to pin on like an A or something like that up here.
Everywhere he goes, maybe he has to do it like a sex predator.
Oh,
he goes to the DMV and he's like, I, Daniel Perry, had choked a man in 2024 for potentially 6 minutes.
Yeah, allegedly.
He's like, could have did longer. Yeah. I don't know, something. But he doesn't need all this nonsense in his life.
No, he doesn't. Now, for something a little less traumatic, but equally as judicially problematic.
Traumatic? I had fun.
Oh, no, this is a new one.
Yeah.
Oh.
The last one was fun.
Oh, the last one was good. I just meant traumatic for them. But,
no one's traumatized.
Woman who stowed away on plane to Paris arrested. Expected to face federal charge after returning to the U.S. And then you just see a shady picture of a chick in a beanie, like looking out the side of her face.
She kind of look like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Taylor Swift tries to escape America after Trump's election.
Yeah.
A Russian woman who stowed away on a Delta Airlines flight from New York to Paris last week was arrested Wednesday night, the FBI said in a statement. Svetlana Dali.
One more time for me.
Svetlana Dali.
That's a cool name.
Svetlana.
Yeah, that's the name of a stowaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Svetlana snuck on the plane again.
We gotta keep her out of the airports.
Mrs. Dolly. She's like outside. She gets out of the above.
Undoes it from the inside. Damn. Svetlana Dali, whom French authorities identified as the stowaway. That should be a movie.
Stowaway. This is what I mean. The Stowaway with Svetlana Dali. It's like a show of her sneaking onto planes.
How do you get past airport security?
Only Miss Dolly knows. That's Svetlana's specialty.
Is expected to face at least one federal charge after she returned to the United States Wednesday, according to multiple law enforcement officials.
Bullshit.
She is expected to be charged with being a stowaway on a vessel or aircraft without consent. So can you be a stowaway with consent?
That's what I'm saying. And whose consent do they mean? The planes? Was she supposed to ask the plane if she could get on board? Maybe she did.
Yeah.
They don't know.
The Delta hostess was like, just climb in the cabinet, honey.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. We'll take care of you.
Hey, Svetty. They open the cupboard. Yeah.
This is where we store the stowaways.
I don't like this story at all. I root for Svetlana.
She could face up to 5 years in prison. Damn, that's more than negligent
For
homicide.
What? You sneak on the bus, they just kick you off. What is all this?
Dolly is expected to make her initial court appearance Thursday, the U.S. Attorney's Office for Eastern District of New York said. Dolly declined to speak with CNN after landing.
Miss Dolly. No.
What do you have to say for yourself?
No.
No.
I am the stowaway.
I can't believe they find me.
She's gonna sneak out of prison.
Oh, yeah, as a guard.
Yeah, she's a stowaway in a van.
The plane that left Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport landed shortly after 5 p.m. Eastern Time at JFK International Airport in Queens. Also, that's what a Russian gets. Fly to America, land in Queens.
I know.
Yeah.
More shit.
America disgusting.
Am I in Moscow?
Putin should run this place. Clean it up.
Sad. You know, I hate this story. I have to pause, but it's irritating me because what did we do with all these homeless people from these fucking liberal states, California, what the fuck ever? They got them all up. They fucking get a net, like a big fishing net, and put them on a fucking plane and send them to New York or whatever else fucking anyway. Or bus them to other. They're moving homeless people all over the place. She's the one homeless person who decided to have some initiative and get on a fucking plane by herself. Didn't use any of our resources. And now we punish her.
I think that's fair. Oh, so she got by French authorities to sneak here.
What?
Is that what it sounds like? Because she left Charles de Gaulle Airport. Although maybe she was headed to Paris.
That's what I thought.
Oh yeah, it was
to Paris.
So then she went to Paris. She was trying to leave, and then she came back.
I guess.
We sent her back, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
But
so
this
we
is
could
kind
charge
of
her.
what
Like, why
I mean.
send her
Like,
back?
the initiative, she's like, let me get my homeless ass out of here. And we're like, no, come back so we can charge you. Meanwhile, we're busting homeless people all over the fucking place for no fucking reason anyway.
Yeah. Let the Russians just...
Homeless, immigrants, all of them. We're spending money on this shit anyway.
Get this waste of resources. When the plane arrived, at least a dozen law enforcement officials from different agencies were standing outside the gate, and Dolly remained on while all other passengers got off. Why do we need so many people to secure some 5'2" Russian lady? Is she in the Spetsnaz?
She's a national security threat. She wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need 30 men for that at least.
You cannot leave.
Yeah.
Dolly left Paris on Wednesday aboard a flight shortly after 3 p.m. Okay, so she got flown via, like, Con Air, essentially. Yeah.
That's so sad.
I know.
Imagine she stowed away on, like, Spirit Airlines or something. She'd be able to sue Spirit for dangerous fucking,
2 previous attempts to send Dolly back to the U.S. were abandoned after she started screaming after boarding a plane on Saturday and Tuesday.
This changes the whole story. What was she screaming about?
About being forced to go back to the U.S.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
She passed security, which means there was a failure somewhere. Huh.
Because who the fuck wants to work at the airport? No one's checking who's getting on these planes.
Delta said it has reviewed its own security after the incident last week and insists the infrastructure is sound. Hey, who let the random Russian chick on the plane? That's all we need to know.
Not a problem, says Delta. Not a problem. That doesn't matter. We're 100% secure. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Like that wasn't ours. She was on United. We saw her. Yeah.
All the drones are like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Poor Svetlana. She tried to get away from this dump, you know?
Yeah.
She said, this isn't for me.
Here we go. How she snuck past airport security. The initial incident in which Dolly somehow sneaked onto a plane on one of the busiest travel days of the year has raised serious questions about airport security after she was able to bypass multiple checkpoints. Dolly first bypassed an airport terminal employee in charge of the line for the known crew member checkpoint at JFK's Terminal 4. So she just walked right by the known crew member part, and nobody stopped her. And bypass stations where her ID and boarding pass should have been checked, which is probably what they do with crew members, right? If you're a regular crew member, we probably don't check you every time, which is crazy, but smart. Very Russian.
Oh, yeah. She knows how to infiltrate. That's the first thing they teach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elementary school.
Yeah.
These are American systems.
Break into the principal's office.
At the gate, she placed herself in the middle of what appeared to be a family traveling together.
Smart. She's blonde. She's white. She said, I mix in well here. Mm-hmm. Covert.
She was not carrying any prohibited items. What?
Well, I think if you're going to stow away on a plane, you don't have meth on you.
Yeah. On board, she managed to avoid being easily discovered by hiding in the bathrooms. A passenger on the airplane said he overheard flight attendants say. Oh, Lord. That is insane.
I like the story.
She had never tried to sneak onto a plane before, and we don't have any other connections with her doing anything other than live in the Philadelphia area.
Which is really a crime that we did to her. Is that she had to live in Philadelphia and then the whole New York City. She's seen the worst of America. She wanted to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She saw the worst we had to offer.
And I think that's what we should do. With a lot of random foreigners, just send them to the East Coast. Have the worst experience possible.
Yeah. Either that or like the middle, Oklahoma. Put you in a field of corn, you know?
Yeah. Nothing in America.
Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, she didn't want to be here. I don't know why we're wasting all this time and resources trying to get her back. And like, what point are you trying to make?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that you can't stow away on flights, but just... And you know an American prison is a joke to a Russian.
Yeah. It's like a hostel.
So I can't leave, but I read books, I watch television.
I got caught stowed away on planes, so they sent me to sorority. She's in a sorority now.
Yeah.
That's poor. That's sad for her. They should probably hire her. Use her for intelligence. Make her an operative. All these kinds of things. She's a talented homeless person. She survived Philadelphia and found a way to get a free flight. Things that Americans would never be able to do.
Never.
We go on Expedia and try and get a deal. You know? She said, fuck all that.
I will walk. We'll get across the terminal.
I did not even sneak. I walk on plane.
Yeah.
I walk on plane.
Walk on plane. I get in bathroom. I take long number 2. I have good time. I leave bathroom.
I
sit
told
in
them
seat.
I don't have money. I walked on plane.
No money. Yeah. No conductor come to check ticket.
Is she from the Polar Express? What?
That's what she thinks. That's what all Russians think.
Poor Svetlana. What's her name? Sophia. Whatever.
Svetlana, you were right.
Cool. I don't remember anyone's name.
Svetlana Dolly.
Just like old Brian.
I found out about a crazy thing this week. And that crazy thing is sidewalk fees. So Denver is about to start charging residents $150 a year.
Oh, good.
For their portion of the sidewalk.
Oh, good. Is this like as you're walking or the sidewalk in front of your house?
The sidewalk in front of your house.
I almost think they should do while you're walking. Like the Fitbit and the, what they call it, Whoop strap.
Right.
They just coordinate your steps with the sidewalk fees of that street in Denver. We saw you were walking for a quarter mile down Mason Street. That's $75.
That is a great strategy. I think that it's like Uber for the streets, but you got to pay to walk the street, really.
Each step ain't free in this world.
True.
And Denver, I mean, we know the divine metropolis that is. You should pay to visit that place and kick the piss off your shoe as you walk.
Unscrew the needle from the syringe.
Yeah. You have to pay for that. It's quite a sight to see. These crumbling buildings, homeless people spitting on the sidewalk.
Like llamas.
Mm-hmm. You should have to pay for that.
Yes.
It probably instituted this so they could pay to clean up all of that.
I believe that is actually the idea. So we have an article, but I believe the idea is that if you charge for the sidewalk, then you have some ownership of the sidewalk, and therefore people can't just sleep on the sidewalk. I think that's this roundabout way for $150 a person to get the homeless people off your street.
It's bullshit, though, because you don't own that sidewalk. We pay for a lot of things in America, and you don't own it, okay? You can't cook crack on that portion of the sidewalk if you decide to. So you can't charge me for it and say it's mine until I can do whatever I want with that portion of the sidewalk. I want to shoot porn on that portion of the sidewalk, then I'll feel like it's mine.
Get a warrant.
Yeah.
You want to come on my sidewalk?
Police can't use my portion of the sidewalk.
Nope. Better not drive through it, walk on it, none of that shit.
I see a dog on my portion of the sidewalk, bang, bang.
But, this is my house.
This is my portion of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Call the city if you have a problem with it.
If you don't put money in the drop box, the toll booth on either side of my portion of the sidewalk, auto gun.
That's great, too.
Yeah.
What if I start charging people to use my portion of the sidewalk while the city's charging me? So they charge me $150. I need to profit. It's $300 to use my portion of the sidewalk.
Dire consequences will come if you do not pay.
I see you jogging, Diane. You owe me $495.
Pull up with a bat.
Hit her.
What I tell you.
Tanya Hardin. Yeah.
Okay. This is Fox 31. Denver's sidewalk fees will begin January 1st.
Wonderful.
Here's what residents need to know. Denver will begin charging property owners in 2025 for sidewalks across the city, and most will be charged at a flat fee of $150 a year. But there are exceptions. The sidewalk fees will be used to fund repair and construction programs in the city. Hey, what about the people ruining the sidewalks?
Are they not accountable for paying for the sidewalk? How come we can't decide? Not that I have a house in Denver, I'm smart. But if you have a house in Denver, why can't you decide what your sidewalk fees go to? Hello? You know? What if you want them to tear down Frank's hot dog hut or whatever with it? You know that place I'm talking about? What is it? The biker shop. Biker Jim's. Biker Jim's hot dogs. You know? What if they don't want that in their neighborhood? And all the people decide they want their fees to go to that? Tear it down. Will they do that?
I don't think so.
No.
Unfortunately, this appears to just be a repair and construction program. It seems like they don't understand that the thing wrong with Denver's sidewalks is people, not broken sidewalks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's misplaced.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand.
Yeah. It should really be $150 for a tent removal program.
Exactly.
I gave them too much credit.
The problem with the sidewalk, I don't walk in Denver and go, this sidewalk needs $150. I go, I wish there wasn't fentanyl sticking to my feet on the sidewalk. I wish a homeless person didn't just grab my foot on the sidewalk.
There were overdoses during the marathon last year from all the kicked up fentanyl dust.
I wish I didn't see a drive-by just now on the sidewalk. You got drive-by with cheese. Remember that?
Oh my
God. On the sidewalk. Stuff like that.
In a nice part of Denver, too.
It's all going to shit.
It's terrifying.
They need to charge $400 per piece of sidewalk to fix it.
They need sidewalk monitors. Somebody should have hit them with a beanbag gun or something.
This is the problem. Sidewalk SWAT. Do that.
Sidewalk SWAT.
That's what you want.
Start fucking around on the sidewalk.
Booby trapped sidewalks.
Bang!
Yeah.
Dudes pop out the sidewalk like Ninja Turtles. They open the sewer hatches.
You can do that.
Jump out.
I like that. You could do like intense military technology just monitored by SWAT in the sidewalk, kind of like hostile architecture. Like if you litter on the sidewalk, you just incinerated by some kind of gas.
Just like an ankle taser.
Yeah. Or like a razor blade come up, chop your foot.
You get tetanus when you litter on the sidewalk.
They're all different. Some of them open up, never seen again. Saw them on 3rd. Last time I saw him.
Hey, don't go to 5th Street. 5th Street dangerous.
Jeff dropped a double bubble wrapper in 3rd. I haven't seen him since.
There just start being these little horns that go pick it up now. Pick it up now.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
It'll be like Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah, to visit Denver.
Yeah, you go to jail for sneezing in front of people in Singapore.
Yeah.
Shit's rude.
Mm-hmm. Some homeless gotta be the mayor. He'll enforce all the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Denver's sidewalk fees. The property owners will be subject to paying the first half, so $75, in the first 6 months of the year, and the second half in the second half of the year.
Why that? Why not just the bulk payment?
I don't know.
If you're gonna make people pay, now you're gonna do it in installments. You can pay us in 10 easy payments for your sidewalk fee this year. This shit diabolical.
Yeah. We just need money.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the lady who proposed it, Nancy Coon, her husband.
Of course, this is Nancy Coon's idea.
Maybe it's not her idea, but she's the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, talking on behalf of this initiative for the city. So it kind of feels like she deserves responsibility for this.
She was sitting eating squash. Thanksgiving, like, we need to charge money for these sidewalks. Yeah, here at Coon's Concrete, we can do a lot of good, a lot of good work in Denver. You know, as long as everyone pays $300 per piece of sidewalk.
Not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
My husband, Kevin Coon, Kevin Coon's Concrete. We could go around and fix all of this with taxpayer money.
My son Kyle Coon, he's real hands-on. Yeah, Coon's Concrete.
Oh my God, their family name just KKKKKK.
Yeah, they're like Indian.
It's the first time in Denver we've ever done something like this.
Oh, wow.
Where we're going to be tackling sidewalks citywide.
Is that the daughter, Kelsey Coon, the representative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Properties with over 230 linear feet of sidewalk. Is that your property? How can you say...
Because right now, if someone wanted to decorate that portion of their property, they'd be like, this is the public street.
Right.
You can't do that here. But now, all of a sudden, when it's convenient, just like in a bad marriage, when it's suddenly your child, now you got to take care, you got to pay us to take care of this, this sidewalk of yours. You're like, I didn't even know that had anything to do with this shit.
2 weeks ago, a homeless guy was talking shit to me on that sidewalk. I called y'all.
Yeah.
You told me it was public.
Exactly. I had a protest in front of my house 2 days ago.
I tried to clear my sidewalk, but they didn't listen.
Yeah. I was trying to back my car out, and you said I couldn't go to work that day because I couldn't move these people from the sidewalk.
Stop being racist.
Yeah. But now you got to take care of that sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, so...
I hope some citizens decide to just bulldoze that part of their property. Just, remove your sidewalk.
Yeah.
In protest. What if I take out this no sidewalk here now?
That's a good point. It's grass now. This is a park.
What if I put a koi pond? Peter, come.
I'll park on the road from here on out.
Protect my house if I put a koi pond there.
Yeah. Transplant an endangered flower or something over your property.
I'll start an initiative on my sidewalk.
It gets worse, though, because if you have over 230 linear feet, you will not be subject to the flat fee of $150 and will instead be subject to an impact fee of $3.50 per foot of sidewalk. So at 230 feet, your new fee is what? Over $700.
For sidewalk.
Yeah, for your sidewalk. Yeah. It'll expect to raise $40 million in repairs. Hey, how about taking care of the people that live on the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Those are the people that are messing up the sidewalks. I bet you they're jumping and putting those cracks in them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think if you defecate enough times on a sidewalk, it gets soft
ruined.
and bad things happen. You got to revamp that
Nothing
sidewalk.
ruins a sidewalk like the homeless playing hopscotch in the middle of the fucking day. No job. On drugs.
Yeah. The drugs make their footsteps extra heavy.
I seen it. It's like when Hancock landed. You remember that movie?
Yeah, with Will Smith?
Yeah, concrete. Boom. Yeah. Transformers. You can't have them on the... And then some of these homeless are fat, too, somehow. So that's impacting the side. Are fat people being charged for some damage to the sidewalks?
That's a great point. Semi-trucks get charged extra for driving on the highways. Their tires and stuff are more expensive.
That's what I mean.
I think that's true.
A fat person's footprint is really causing probably at least 30% damage to these sidewalks. They don't have true analysis on what's going on.
If you walk into a shoe store and we see that outside of the foot wear on your shoes that only real fat people have, you get charged an extra $15 per pair of shoes.
Fat scooters on the sidewalk, that's a semi-truck on the sidewalk.
Yeah, you brought a car to this sidewalk.
I think this is a whole aspect to this that they've really underappreciated.
Yeah.
We've been by Denver Biscuit Company, you know. It's just fat hair, short haircuts, breaking sidewalks. That's all it is.
Yeah. I was riding my skateboard behind one of them once, cracked the sidewalk, flew off the skateboard.
You fell into the ground?
No. Thankfully, she was so fat, she caught me.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You should sue her anyways.
My skateboard's never been the same. And it won't be after having to pay damn near $600 for my stretch of sidewalk.
My conclusion, as with everything, is this is a bunch of bullshit. This was come up by the Coon Concrete family to rob all of the people of Denver, north, south, east, and west.
Yes.
And they're not even attacking the right people, like homeless people and fat people, who are the actual ones breaking the sidewalk.
Correct. Yeah. All right. Fuck that sidewalk.
I give it a 1 out of 10.
As far as ideas go?
As far as ideas, it's unpatriotic. It's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about this one? All right.
My coffee cold.
Oh. Very nice. That's delicious. Cold coffee's the best.
Tastes like mucus.
Nice and thick.
Oh.
All right. Judge denies Second Amendment claim for man illegally in the U.S. charged with having 170 guns. Look at his gun closet. He's got a...
What's the problem? What's the problem? It looks like a shoe rack in Los Angeles or something. Except this is what he collects. But
this is what he collects.
But this scares people.
Well, he is illegally in the United States of America.
I don't like that. That's not great. But I chose to skip over that because it's a very nice gun closet.
Yes.
He's got it organized real well.
Yes.
Where's he from?
I don't know.
That's a problem.
Where does it say? Here, we can find out. He's been in the U.S. illegally for almost 2 decades.
He's a citizen.
Yeah, agreed.
What the fuck?
His last name's Serrano Restrepo. So I bet you Mexico.
He's Restrapto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Restrapto. Yeah, I guess this really kicked off in a different direction than I was anticipating. Because on one hand, I want to say, and I think it's fair to say, that non-citizens are not guaranteed all of the same rights and privileges that we are.
It's a big problem.
But if you've been in the U.S. law-abiding for 20 years,
right,
and then you get got, not for having guns that were illegal in, like, they don't have a serial number or have been used in a crime.
It's not
but
dirty guns.
You're a guy that lives in America, in a gun-loving country. You're participating in that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're illegal almost, it's not like you just showed up here and were trying to get strapped. Like,
right. But this is what I mean by the gun thing scares people. Like, if he was an immigrant, she's some nerd immigrant, some Japanese nerd immigrant who's been here for 20 years, and police went into his house for whatever reason, and he had a 200-piece sword collection. I don't think the story would be all this.
That's
you
true.
Know? It'd be kind of just like, this was a weird bust.
Yeah.
You know? And
man has ancient katanas.
Exactly. But I'm trying to decipher what they're trying to do, what angle they're trying to play out with the whole, oh, he's illegal, but then he's also been here 20 years just fine working at Geico, and then he has these guns or whatever. It's like, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
What are you trying to implicate? I don't really know.
This almost points... I thought this was going to be a story where, cut and dried, I would think, illegal guy shows up here, attempts to procure guns, which is not something that you're allowed to do as not a citizen here, case closed. But now it feels like a problem of our government, because he's here 20 years as a good man.
It'd be one thing if he came here 6 weeks ago when he had 120 guns in the fucking closet. I'd be like, this is the problem with our country.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But now I'm saying it in a different way. Because he's been here almost as long as my mom's been here. What the fuck ever. And, you know, she's no criminal.
Right.
Really. And in some ways. But not like this.
Sure. Yeah.
Not like this. He's probably less of a criminal than my mom is.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about this. This is a weird one. I don't like that he has the guns. I think some of them should be taken. And then I can't justify why even some. You know? It just feels like a lot of guns.
Yeah, that's really the problem is because...
For not a citizen to have.
Yeah, because...
Even for a citizen to have.
Well, and as a citizen, I think you gotta go on the side of you're allowed to have guns.
Yeah.
You can have all 170 of these guns.
Yeah.
That's not on me. As a non-citizen, the question then becomes, it's as a law-abiding non-citizen, essentially, aside from the fact that you showed up here illegally. But if we accept that, the question then becomes, are they allowed to have no guns or guns?
Yeah, you have to say no guns. Well, you don't have to, but I do.
I think
no guns.
That's probably the easier of them. Yeah.
There's some undocumented person just going around causing mayhem, you know?
Yeah.
You can't have that. But then at the same time, they haven't really given us any other details. Like, well, what has he done? What are they scared that he's going to do?
Let's, well, it was the ATF. And first off, the ATF is full of criminals.
Yeah.
The ATF is more than most other police forces. The ATF is full of criminals.
That's probably why they took his guns. They said, we need these.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They need those. The ATF and DEA have been doing civil forfeitures in airports of people who just have large amounts of cash, even if it's perfectly legal. And it is perfectly legal to carry cash in the U.S. as much as you'd like. And
not if ATF's on the shift.
And, dude, they literally tell you you're free, but your bag's not free. Then, when they confiscate your money, they file for a court case of United States versus the amount of money you have. And guess what can't defend itself? Money.
Yeah, it don't got a mouth.
Win. Yeah.
Money doesn't got a mouth.
No.
What are they doing? That's illegal as fuck.
It's super illegal, and then it's like damn near impossible
if you're gonna
to get it back.
do shit like that, you need a whole lot of guns to back up your actions. So they're gonna take undocumented people's guns. They're gonna take our guns. They're gonna be like Canada, make us all turn in our guns in a year, and then ship them to Ukraine and ATF.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Disgusting, like the Canadians are trying to do.
It's real gross.
So, a federal judge denied his motion to dismiss the charge, saying disarming unlawful immigrants like Mr. Serrano Restrepo, who have not sworn allegiance to the United States, comports with the nation's history and tradition of firearm regulations. The swearing of an oath of allegiance occurs through the naturalization process, not through his asylum application or his years of living in the United States.
I would say it's the total opposite. If you've been here 20 years, not creating any fucking problems, what greater way to show allegiance?
Yeah, agreed. I also I feel like there's something about having kids.
Yeah.
If you have a kid, if you have a family here, and you're not out here, you can't even go back to Mexico if you're illegal because you might not be able to make it back.
Right.
So
it's
you've literally pledged as much allegiance as one humanly can. You've given your whole family and
especially compared to what you just told me, these ATF motherfuckers, didn't they take oaths? You know?
Yeah. To steal from American citizens.
Exactly. What the fuck? You actually took an oath. You know, compared to this guy who was like, he's a potential threat because he hasn't taken the oath. You've taken the oath and you hurt people. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Now, I think we can agree. If you've been here, you know, less than a couple of years, say 5 years or less, like, you're way too fresh for us to even contemplate allowing you to purchase a firearm if you did not appear here legally.
But then playing devil's advocate, I struggle with that shit too, because it's like, well, now why does, not why, you can see why duration of time here is kind of meaningful as far as the argument. 20 years is a long time to be here, and we don't have all the details. I don't know if he has no record or whatever, but just to say, let's say he hasn't done anything, it's a long time to not do anything. But if you've been here 5 years and you haven't done anything, that's, you know, like it's kind of the same thing, I feel like. So why would, you know, someone who's been here 5 years not doing anything not be able to have a handgun, but someone who's been here 20 years not doing anything would? That seems like a weird argument to make too.
Right.
You know, it seems like it needs to be based off of something. I don't know.
Well, and
I think this is why it has to be, if you're illegal, you can't have guns.
And I think that's where the judge is coming from, and that's probably
for a better reason.
It's probably the better reason. It is one of those things, though, where even though that as a general rule works, that's why you kind of want to know more about the case, because you're like, dude, if you've been here 2 decades, it kind of feels
that's
like...
That's what I mean.
And the point, I think to your point, it's almost like it should absolve you, not of the gun crime, but of that you're even illegal.
Right.
Like, to be here 20 years should mean you're a citizen.
Right.
Now, how do you actually do that, right? Because there could be some fucking Talibanis that get sent over on a long 20-year mission before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's
it's
possible.
Complex conversation to have. But this is what I mean by, like, you kind of need his track record of, well, what have you done for 20 years? And like I said, if he's like, I've been working at DirecTV for 20 years, now he's just a regional manager or something, and he happens to like ballistics and guns on the weekends, well then, you know, leave him alone. But you don't have those intimate kind of details, and you can't go case by case like that. So overarching, it needs to be, keep those guns out of your hands.
Right. As a general rule, it is certainly safer to go with the not guns.
But I do think it sucks that if he had any other collection, 200-piece sword collection, you know, a slingshot collection, a bow. If he had 200 hunting bows even, no one would blink an eye, I feel like.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate case for an unfortunate man. There is another question, too, of how much do you as the prosperous country and the one with the clearly more successful ideals allow those countries subordinate to you to have the same privileges?
You don't. Next.
Next, indeed.
Just saying. I'd be great in the government.
I've
solved every problem you brought to me today.
What is this? Oh.
Where's your vape?
The vape?
Vape.
It's right here. All right.
Bring me the next problem. I'm solving them all.
All right. So, old Brian Thompson.
Who?
The United Healthcare CEO.
Oh.
Oh, Mr.
That dead guy.
Yeah. 22. 22s don't kill nobody. Got hit with a 22 a couple of times. I don't even know if it was a 22, but it was certainly not a big gun, and he had a silencer on it, so my guess is he was trying to be quiet.
I thought they said it was some sort of Glock.
Oh, maybe it was.
With an extended mag and something like that. Maybe not extended mag, but the fucking
extended mag would be crazy.
Sure, GTA 5. Purple big mag.
Big, yeah.
No, the fucking whatever modified silencer he had on there.
Because, yeah, you'd want it to be as quiet as possible if you're going to do a shooting in New York City on the street.
Apparently in Manhattan. In front of, like, a fucking hotel. Yeah. But everybody knows that. I like the details.
So, apparently, when they found his bullets, which he shot 3, apparently. I wonder... Okay, so they said... The 3 bullets that he shot said, deny, depose, defend. And apparently that comes from some book that talks about their strategies for...
Yeah, about how insurance companies, whatever, intend on defrauding the people and how you're supposed to maintain loyalty to the company instead of, people trying to file their claims and whatnot,
Yeah.
So, fuck you and your dying grandma or whatever. I have expectations to uphold for my stakeholders or whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had shot a 4th bullet, what it would have said.
I was just thinking he probably did. Like, what if he had, 5 words? He's like, they only found 3. Like, this sucks. Yeah. What happened to divide? That was one of He's all paranoid. It's like, we're calling the wrong water. It just doesn't even make sense now.
What about distract?
Yeah, yeah.
I had 7 Ds.
Yeah. Imagine how long it took to
carve.
Yeah.
And then you spell one of them wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh!
That sucks.
Yeah. I wonder how many of them went off. You think he carved into one too hard? And poof.
He probably wanted to simplify at one point. It's like, this is a lot of fucking letters. And I don't have great penmanship like this.
Yeah.
Why didn't I just put die on all 5?
I was going to write disencamp, but that would have been too long to etch in.
Yeah.
But so he murked this fella. And look, my personal opinion on this is, on an individual level, it's probably not good to just kill people who are working within an incentive structure. Because he's probably, old Brian Thompson here, he's probably not personally the worst guy on earth.
I agree. But can I make a counter, or do you have more?
Oh, I definitely have more, because I will say that it does, though, prove a point.
Yeah.
That you are in charge of and constantly trying to push a top-down culture of make this company money.
Yeah.
Rather than do good by your clients and recognize that you're in bed with the government and therefore people are kind of forced to purchase you. Mm-hmm. So you're just running a straight up racket every time that you bone Americans, and you're a professional American boner.
Right.
And so ga. And I don't want to go too long on this, but this ties in exactly to the next story, which was the Anthem. They're all related, but Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield was about to release a policy that their health care only covered a certain duration of anesthesia.
Oh, wonderful.
And
that's real good.
Yeah, it was 35 minutes for a heart surgery. And then past that, the patient has to pay out of pocket for all the anesthesia. And so they came up with these random ones. And then old Brian Thompson got hit. And they withdrew the policy.
We should think about this one.
But
I think they're mad.
Yeah.
I think they've been real mad. How did we not know?
Yeah.
Because it's just like you said, it's the people, not even the people, because they're able to think of their shareholders and what the fuck ever else is people. Those are people they see and interact with. But they forget their whole business, just like McDonald's forgot. Their whole business was based on pleasing the people.
Yeah.
Us. People, the people who clock in and all that shit, and you look at it in the street and you're like, man, homeless and all that shit. We're your customers. But, they forget about that, and the money insulates their life well enough that we get real fucking quiet until you have to go, ga, and they're like, oh my God, these people are people. They're coming for us. They can do stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can't just continue to nonchalantly destroy their lives.
Exactly.
And
it's for them to have the fucking the ability to get on and be like, not that I'm laughing, but like they played like clips from Bryce is his name.
Brian Thompson.
Brian, can't even remember. Brian played clips of the wife and we're devastated and they're trying to, you know, get in touch with the heart in the holiday season. How many people's Christmases have y'all fucked up? Over the, you know, the last decade. Like, you're not gonna get the sob angle of this fucking story that you want with the people knowing exactly who the fuck we're dealing with. We all pay insurance.
Right.
We all know what the fuck this is.
100%.
So it's very strange. It's very strange that now they want to appeal to your heartstrings or what the fuck ever.
Yeah. And maybe he wasn't a bad guy. Maybe he never beat his wife, never did anything bad to his kids, paid for their education. But you can be a private hero and a professional asshole.
Exactly.
That's totally possible.
I promise you, if you're within the Sackler family, you probably think you're around great people. Like they took me on a yacht for my 10th birthday. They gave me a yacht. You know, you didn't know. Well, maybe you didn't know. Even if you did or you didn't, we all have these interpersonal relationships. What the fuck ever else. As a person, just as like a person operating in the universe, we all know whether you're doing good or not. And I'm pretty sure Brass is over there like, I wonder why I got 4 in the back.
Yeah.
At 6 in the fucking morning. While I was on my way to go get me a kale sandwich or whatever the fuck these people eat.
Yeah. You know, there's a couple of businesses that really have just taken root and been allowed to just bend the American person over and destroy them. And health insurance, dude, like a decent health insurance plan can be $500 a month a person. Which is just insane given the rarity of true events, right? And half the reason that, you know, a hospital bill is $500,000 is because of the insurance.
Right.
If that was revamped, there's no reason that a heart surgery is $550,000. You don't pay the surgeon that much.
Exactly.
The pills don't really cost that much. The anesthesiologist doesn't really cost that much.
They know all that.
You guys are fucking us, and it's really like we're paying extra taxes.
Yeah.
But we're paying it to a private company that wants to keep burying us.
Right.
Rather than to a government that we can change.
Right. It's the whole game is sick. They know they can get away with it because it's built on this one fucking. It's like the core foundation of every person's life, which is like my health. You know.
Yeah.
When something happens to my body, I need to be able to fix it or what the fuck ever, get treatment for it, find out what the fuck's going on. Meanwhile, you move it to any other fucking industry, and the absurdity of it becomes like real obvious to your face. Imagine going to a mechanic. They tell you your car costs $30,000 to fix.
Right. It'd be like,
if any industry deserves to be hiking up prices crazy, I'm not saying they should. You would think it's like mechanics. You're much more likely to get in a car accident than suddenly need heart surgery.
Right.
At a fucking door.
Yeah.
But and not even. I mean, Firestone will rape you and be like, it's $700 for your
right.
alter. But even that is like you can't. There's no way that this kind of cost structure makes sense, no matter what industry you fucking move it to.
Right. The only way that it makes any sense is if you're in bed with government.
Yeah.
Because, like you're saying, I fucked up that whole front of this car and lost the bumper, and I'd smashed the radiator and everything. And that was, what, $7,500 at Crash Champions, which my insurance covered, right?
Wonderful.
Now, granted, I do pay $200 a month in insurance.
Right.
But still, that's the purpose of it. But to your point, if they were in bed with the government and we all had to have whatever, then it would completely change the game.
We'd be walking. We'd be hot. A lot of us would be hot. And then we wouldn't need the hospital. That might work. Wow.
Yeah.
I fixed it again.
Yeah.
This little racket.
And
fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I really agree with your point of where this all came from, of horrible act. I don't like the act of just going around killing people before the holidays. I understand he was a father. I say before the holidays, like that's the problem.
Yeah. February would have been okay. But December is cruel.
Fucking Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" is playing around the city, and you're over there, got. So it's a little extra cruel. But the act, I don't agree with the act. I don't like it, but I will be a little more okay with it if he keeps going. Do you know what I mean? Because I agree with what you said. This Bryce, what's his name?
Right.
Bill.
Brian Thompson.
Brian Tyler. Brian. If Brian, he's not the worst CEO or whatever. Like you said, maybe he was a good father. All these other things. He just worked for some shit ass fucking company. But nonetheless, like if the killer keeps going, if he's like, now it's McDonald's CEO. Now, I think that's a real message. I'll respect him more almost for just being truly committed. Like, okay, well, no, go find a worse CEO. Keep it going.
See, that's interesting.
Keep it going.
I hope something similar but different. Okay, I hope this is actually a ring of very good murderers, and I hope that this guy never gets caught and he's never seen again. I hope he disappears into the darkness. The Blue Anthem Blue Cross lady. I hope she get the ga.
Dude.
And then, but it's somebody completely different. And that's got, three more words on it.
Yeah.
And then people just start getting into fear. And maybe they start leaving instructions. Reform. You know, like things like that.
They get the Ozempic person. And on their bullets, they find cardio, diet. Like the actual way to do it. The 460-pound Ozempic CEO was killed this morning.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And once again, I agree with you. It's not
good.
It's not about the interpersonal thing, but this industry is so destructive to us, and Congress is in bed with them. They make the most money. It's the biggest industry in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's all because of this government corruption in bed with them. So, no, that's not okay.
Gonna get some food, people. Get head of Nabisco, whatever. Whoever makes Lunchables, killing the children with lead and stuff. Get them all. Make them all scared. They're all gonna burrow underground. They're doing it now.
They gotta start recognizing that just making money is not it. Yeah, of course, you need your stock price to increase, kind of, but that doesn't have to be at the same fucking rate every year.
Exactly.
You could just chill out, allow America to grow over time, give everybody good wages. Why did Henry Ford give everybody good wages? Partially because it attracted good employees, and partially because the more you paid people, the more cars they bought.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
It's a big pie. We could grow it, or you could siphon it.
The amount of talk you hear about good business practices and all this shit nowadays, and look at how all businesses are run, and it's just on crushing the people, crushing every cent out of the people. Squeeze. You squeeze it dry.
Squeeze them.
Bring it out.
Yeah.
You ever left a mop outside in the summertime?
Oh, get it all shriveled.
Crusty.
Yeah.
That's what they want the constituents to be.
Yeah.
Crusty.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And I think that there's really two ways you can go healthcare wise, right? You can either fully privatize, like get government out of bed with them, completely separate them, and let it stay private. And while some people still wouldn't get coverage, I bet you most of us would actually get more coverage for cheaper if you fully did that than them being able. And then I guess on top of that, the government regulates them like the government regulates all other businesses that could be killing us. Right? Or, and this is probably the easier and the better option, you do the whole Medicaid for all, where you can have better insurance than Medicaid if you'd like. You can go to the fanciest hospital with the best paid surgeons that are completely private. That's still available to you. But if you're just Joe Schmo on the street, and you had some nice insurance and there was a lapse, or you can't afford the primo insurance, you still have Medicaid. And therefore, if you have a fucking open heart surgery, you're not in debt $330,000 after you fell asleep one day with a heart attack and woke up the next.
But they're gonna screw you. They're not gonna take you to Anthem Golden Cross for your surgery or what the fuck ever else. They're gonna tell you to go to a barber shop.
Well, they're gonna take you to whatever regular ass local surgeon,
It'll be a barbershop.
and maybe you get less nice stitches. But look, you still
It'll
got...
be a CSL plasma with one person working,
What?
and all they got is a staple gun.
So then, yeah, I guess you really have those two choices, though. Because, like, Europe and Canada do have the universal health care, which is essentially this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Healthcare for all. If you break your leg, you go there, and you essentially don't pay anything, but you pay it in taxes.
Yeah.
Or in sales tax and shit like that.
Yeah, they wrap your leg in aluminum foil and send you
Yeah.
out the door.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily perfect, but it's not that dissimilar to our system, but with longer waits. And then, obviously, the private system is... Most people do not try the private system because it runs into some of the problems we have, except ours is commingled with government.
Yeah.
But it is an option, and it probably would be cheaper than our current option.
I just don't understand why it's so messy to begin with.
Because people aren't good people.
That's
I think
true.
that's really the
We're all
problem.
assholes.
Yeah.
It's someone like me running it. That's the problem. Don't give a fuck about anybody.
Yeah, they really just really like money.
Yeah.
Bora Bora was $75,000 last weekend.
What did you just say?
Bora Bora, the vacation spot that these rich people just went to, it was really expensive last weekend. They got to make their money back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Bora
was
Bora.
so confused. I thought that was a medicine. I was like, Bora Bora's what? What are they doing now?